In 1993, Steven Spielberg gave us a masterclass in cinematic awe. Combining groundbreaking special effects with a flawless screenplay, it was a perfect movie. Naturally, Hollywood looked at this masterpiece and thought, how can we completely run this into the ground for cold hard cash? Enter 1997's The Lost World. The film is mostly based on the follow-up novel, so you can't blame Steven Spielberg for all of its faults. However, it is very clear that they tried to make everything times two. There are literally 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes in this film. There's more violence, there's more dinosaurs, there's more of all the things that made the first one good. However, they left out a gripping story, the character development is completely gone, the characters are somewhat absurd, and unfortunately, all of that blood and violence was only good because it was so sparse. It's kind of like baseball or an orchestra. It's the lack of action that makes those action shots peak so much. Unfortunately, Steven Spielberg lost sight of what made the first one a masterpiece. And in making this film, he went with a darker film noir style. I understand the aesthetic choices that he made, and I understand you can't just remake the same movie. However, I do have 2 main big problems with this film, and unfortunately, they are big enough that this film is not that good in my opinion. We're going to get into these 2 problems right now.
Mommy's very angry.
First of all, the gymnastics scene. A preteen girl uses uneven parallel bars to swing herself around, kick a genetic killing machine through a wooden wall, and impale it on a spike. What the fuck? In the first movie, the raptors were literally hunting hunters. They almost trapped 2 kids in a commercial kitchen. They were terrifying, calculating demons. In this movie, they get defeated by a middle school cheerleading routine. Why is this scene in the movie? And now I want to talk about what really kills this movie for me. The last 15 minutes. For whatever reason, it is a mini-movie tacked on at the end that is a blatant Godzilla ripoff. I don't know why. In the book, apparently, the original script, it had them leaving the island. They were on helicopters leaving the island, and some sort of pteranodon or something comes and attacks the helicopters. There was a big battle altercation, very climactic end to the movie. I think that would have been a perfect ending. But instead, they decided to release Godzilla on San Diego and make the last 15 minutes of the movie absolutely ridiculous. Suddenly, we're watching a B-tier Godzilla knockoff. A male T-Rex is brought to San Diego, breaks loose, and starts wandering suburban neighborhoods. Why? Really? The tonal shift is jarring. We went from a tense, claustrophobic survival horror movie in the jungle to an absolute cartoon in the middle of California. It robs the film of its identity and reduces the majestic prehistoric creatures into goofy monster movie tropes. When these films are told as an island somewhere, I can fantasize and imagine that this is actually there. When you bring it to San Diego, it takes me out of the movie completely. I can no longer pretend that this is actually happening. It ruined the entire film for me, and I really, really wish they would have just stuck to the original ending and had a great helicopter and prehistoric flying dinosaur battle. I think that would have been a great ending to the film. Now, obviously, there is some cool stuff about Jurassic Park 2. The bus explosion is pretty cool. 2 Tyrannosaurus Rexes, pretty cool. The animatronics look great. The Lost World isn't a failure because the visual effects are bad. The animatronics still look phenomenal. It's a failure because it prioritized cheap action over cohesive storytelling. It turned brilliant characters into reckless idiots and ancient predators into punchlines. But hey, at least it's not Jurassic Park 3. But that's a video for another day. What do you think? Is Lost World good? Is it a hidden gem? Did you like this movie? Leave me a comment below. Let me know what you think. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, smash that like button. Thank you very much for watching the channel, and we'll see you next time.